Hey, you're listening to the Matt Wano podcast. Super excited to be doing this episode. As always, as you can see, if you're watching the video, we have a little bit of a different mic setup here because my old one pretty much broke. I did order some new podcasting gear, and I'm super excited about that. So that way I don't have to make this kind of bootleg setup anymore. But I guess that kind of ties in interestingly to what I want to talk about today. And what I wanted to talk about today was kind of the irony of ambition. So basically, in a nutshell, the irony of ambition is how we allow our ambition, our motivation, our inspiration to actually keep us from taking action. And this is a topic that is near and dear to me because I've been hugely guilty of this. And I talk about this in a lot of other episodes where sometimes we get so excited about an idea, maybe a business idea, a podcast, a blog, something, right? And we want to do it so perfectly. We want it to be good, obviously. So what ends up happening is we plan, we strategize, we talk to people, we try to find mentors, all of which are good things. You should plan, you should find mentors, but at the end of the day, the thing that really matters is taking action, taking steps to do that. And one of the focuses that I want to take in this particular episode today is why you should focus on progress, not perfection. And I think intuitively we can all kind of agree with that. Perfection is not something that's attainable, but progress is. But walking that talk is a lot more difficult. Again, coming straight from personal experience, and the reason why I kind of wanted to do this episode today, because as far as podcasting goes, today in particular, lately, this past week and even this past month, I've been feeling really good about this podcast. But I want to start getting more consistent, as I've been saying since I've started this podcast. But today in particular, I've been feeling unmotivated and uninspired for an episode. I have a bunch of episodes written down that I want to do, but it's just recording them and talking about them that has been kind of a struggle today. But one thing that I have to keep on going back to is that I'm judging. The reason why it can be difficult is because I'm judging my actions, or I'm judging myself based on what the ideal situation would look like, or the perfect situation would look like. Because for me, the perfect situation is that I'm feeling super inspired, super ready to go. I know what I'm going to say. Most of these, not most, all of these episodes are not scripted. I might have an outline. I think I've had an outline for like maybe 2 of these episodes, but most of the time I'm just kind of going off the top of the dome and just talking. And there's this really good book by Steven Pressfield called The War of Art. So not the art of war, but the war of art. And in that, he talks about the difference between a professional and an amateur. And an amateur waits for inspiration to do something. An amateur waits till he or she feels inspired and motivated to do something. And that perspective has helped me to take action right now to record this podcast, because right now I'm not feeling the most motivated. I'm not feeling the most inspired. But the thing is, if I want to mold my character to be a professional, I need to act like a professional. And the great thing about your actions is that you don't need to feel like doing the action in order to do the action. So for me, what I'm trying to do right now is, despite me not feeling motivated or inspired in this podcast, I'm sitting my butt down and recording. And part of what invites the muse, the creative muse, to come and visit you is discipline. It's putting in the work. It's choosing to take action. Action inspires inspiration, and inspiration inspires action. And this nice little cycle. But if you're waiting for the second part of that equation, which is the inspiration, you're probably not going to take action. And if you don't take action, well, you're probably not going to get inspired. So I'll admit, it was, especially with this microphone, it was acting up before I was about to record. And you know what, it is what it is. And one thing I want to encourage you guys is to focus on progress, over perfection. Because let's say you're trying to cross a river. Man, don't think of it of how do I get from this side of the river to the other side of the river. Like, instead of looking so much into the future, look a little bit more into the present and just look down at your feet. Oh, there's a stepping stone I can take on. It's not even near to the other side of the river, but it's a step in the right direction. You do that once. You take that step. And you do it again. You look down. Oh, look, there's another stepping stone. Okay. You look down again. And you take another step. And next thing you know, you're on the other side of the river. Meanwhile, Fred over there, who is just waiting to have the strength and the inspiration to just jump across the river, hasn't even started yet. But you made it because you decided to be a little bit more present and taking the steps. And that's kind of the irony of ambition there, is maybe you're feeling so inspired to jump across the river, to use all your might to swim up current against it. And you're waiting for the perfect moment to just execute everything that you've been trying to execute. But more times than not, especially for me, that's resulted in me just waiting for the right time, waiting for the opportunity. And I mean, you can either wait for that opportunity or you can create those opportunities. And I think that's one reason why it seems like some people are so much more, let's say, lucky. Oopsie. So what I do is I take screenshots of timestamps that I can highlight. But anyway, I just lost. Oh yeah, one reason why it seems like some people are luckier than others is because they put themselves in situations that allow opportunity to be more favorable to them. Let's just say we have two people, for example. One person stays in his house all day long, doesn't do anything, is just waiting for a lucky break. While this other guy, he goes out to Starbucks every single day to work on, let's say, his screenwriting skills or working on a screenplay, something like that. And it might seem like the guy who goes to Starbucks every day is more lucky if he runs into someone famous who can read a screenplay. But the reason why he's more lucky is because he's opened himself up to more opportunities. And that's just a very simple, practical suggestion. But here's what happens as far as feeling lucky or getting lucky in the sense of getting inspired is every time you take action, motivated or not motivated, you are opening yourself up to an opportunity to get a wind of inspiration. And it's not good if you let your ambition keep you from fulfilling that ambition, ironically enough. Hence the irony of ambition. And that's really it, is just focusing on progress. What can you do today to get you closer to your goals? And I know that might be a little bit cliche at this point, but one of the biggest messages I want to hammer to your brain is that imperfect, consistent action will always beat sporadic and occasional hustle. It's putting that one foot in front of the other that's going to get you to where you're going to be. And that's like a huge lesson that I've had to learn for myself, because for me personally, I'm just like hugely sporadic or not as much as before, because I've been getting better at it. And I've been getting better results in my business and just in life in general. And I feel more confident. I feel better about myself. You know, it's just like self-confidence and self-respect are things that are earned. They're not things that you can merely speak into existence. The the way you speak those things into existence is by speaking the things that you say into existence. You know, so it's not about speaking your confidence per se into existence. It's about speaking your intentions and your actions into existence that then bring the confidence, if that makes sense. So kind of a shorter episode today, but one thing I just wanted to emphasize is that even if you don't feel inspired and motivated, the mark of a professional is to just do it anyway. And it's to inspire anyway, because one really cool quote that I heard from Daniel Di Piazza, he's this he's an entrepreneur, he's like a coach and stuff, is that sorry, my voice is all funny today, is that you don't need to feel inspired in order to inspire. So I hope someone listening to this will feel inspired and motivated to put in the work, even if they don't feel inspired and motivated. Actually, in fact, it would be really cool if someone could listen to this podcast and decide to take action, even if they don't feel inspired. That would be really cool. That's something I'm working on a lot for myself. And yeah, I mean, I really wasn't feeling it today, and I still don't necessarily feel it right now as far as recording this podcast. But you know, at the end of the day, if I want to progress, I have to put out content. I have to put out productivity. I have to put out action. And I hope this is something that you guys can learn from today. And if you're feeling unmotivated, uninspired today or whenever, I'd encourage you to just look down, be present for a second, and just take one step forward, because that one step could motivate you just enough to take one more step, and then another one, and then another one. And then before you know it, you're on the other side of the river, doing the thing that you have been ambitious about. And that way, your ambition doesn't have to be ironic. Your ambition can be fulfilled. So that's all I got for today. Short one. Yeah, and I'm excited to get a new microphone because I'm getting kind of tired of this setup. But yeah, if you know somebody who is feeling uninspired, share this podcast with them. And also a rate and review would be super dope as well. So yeah, that's all I got today. Have a good one.